Come join me as I take you through the week. I'm going to do a little bit of ranting about a recent grocery haul. I'm going to show you how I saved almost 25 bucks at CVS. And I'm going to take you on a non-Girl Scout cookie haul, showing you some native products I got and doing a taste test on some different Girl Scout cookie themed items. I'm also going to show you a Vermont country store haul, which is some of my favorite nostalgic goodies. And then we're going to show you a couple of easy weeknight recipes. And then we're going to close the week by going camping. And I'm going to do my Bible study at the end. So please stick around for that. And stick around for a beautiful sunset. See you soon. Hey everybody, welcome to Kelly's Prepping Kitchen. Today's video is just going to be a compilation of a couple of different hauls I did throughout the week. I just went to the grocery store with Corey today. We needed some fresh produce. We didn't even leave the produce section other than to get a bag of chips for a taco salad that we're going to make. Saw these honey mustard and onion pretzels that I used to be in love with, and then they discontinued and I found those, so just keep that in mind. We just got 2 little things of chips. Everything else was just produce, just vegetables, and it was 40 bucks. That's kind of a shock to me because I don't really go into the grocery store that often, especially within the past couple of months. I've been doing the pantry challenge and just trying to use what I've got. But prior to that, I, do grocery pickups. It was just a shock to me to go in and see the cost of food. To just get a couple of produce items for the week and spend $40 felt like a lot to me. Now, depending on where you live, maybe this is not that much money, but for me, I found it to be a lot. I just got a bunch of asparagus, spinach, bananas, potatoes, some lettuce, and some mushrooms. 40 bucks. There was this Tucker Carlson special where he went to Russia and bought groceries for a week for a family of 4, and it was $100. And apparently around the world, they're not facing the food increase prices that we're facing in America. What we need to do to stop this outrageous price gouging, I have no idea. To kind of keep it in perspective, I went to CVS where we pay $5 a month membership and we always get a $10 credit a month. So basically you spend $5 to get $10, so you're getting $5 a month guaranteed, plus we get coupons throughout the month. We had $20 worth of coupons, so I was able to get $24 worth of stuff for a little over $2. So that's kind of how I balance it out. Look for those sales. And I am going to be uploading a really long video, hopefully by this weekend, talking about my prepper pantry regrets, my do's, my don'ts, my recommendations, as well as showing projects I worked on. It was a 9-part video series, and then I'm just going to do like the final walkthrough of the pantry. So it's kind of longer because I show the pantry, but then I also just explain the mistakes I've made and things I wish I did different. We can complain about the price of things, but the truth is there's not a whole lot we can do about it other than try to prepare and set a little bit back. Got the pink apple and lemon, the raspberry pink lemonade, and the ruby red grapefruit. And then a couple things we don't really need, but just the Valentine's Day candy was on sale. Why not? We have this credit we need to use. I'll show you the other couple of little hauls I did throughout the week and just kind of what we did. We went camping. It was too cold to do much or do a park review. It was a place that we've been to 2 other times before, so I can leave a link in the description box to that video because it was really, really cold and rainy this weekend, so we did not get out and walk around the park much, but we did walk the beach a little bit. And I'm also going to include one of my Bible study messages because I really want to get into the habit of every time I upload a video, also uploading one of my Bible study messages. I like to call it my walk and talk to Jesus segment, but I'm going to also include that at the end of this video where I kind of just walk around my neighborhood. $5.29 for a box of mac and cheese. Crazy. This was so much fun ringing up our grocery items at CVS because it takes me back to my glory days of extreme couponing when you watch the register go from a certain number down to practically nothing. So it was like over $24. We got it down to under $3. Brioche sliders, it's what's for dinner. Let's get started. I set my oven to 350 and then I just laid these out in a casserole dish. And then I just took the tops of the sandwiches off while I assembled them. You can use whichever deli meat or lunch meat you have on hand. We happen to have roast beef on this night, so that's the type of sandwiches we made for ourselves. I decided to go ahead and make a couple of extra ones that were just cheese for my vegetarian daughters. Then I just melted a couple of tablespoons of butter, mixed in a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, a little bit of Dijon mustard, and some seasonings. I used a little bit of minced garlic and this Asiago cheese, everything but the bagel seasoning, which was excellent by the way, and just went ahead and brushed this on the top of the buns and just stuck them in the oven. This is such an easy, delicious meal to have on a weeknight when you're busy. I wanted to show you my Girl Scout cookie haul real quick, only it's not Girl Scout cookies. I can't find my dealer, but these are actually fewer calories, better for you. Let me show you what I got. Part of preparedness is not only just putting away food, but putting away personal supplies so you never run out. I'm a big fan of native products. They just seem to be a lot cleaner with a lot fewer chemicals. You've got the coconut caramel, that is a body wash. Lemon cookie, and that is like a body spray. I'm a big fan of the Thin Mints. That's like my all-time fave, and you're about to see that here in a second. So I got the shampoo and conditioner. I get so annoyed when something says that it smells like something and it really doesn't. These really smell like what they say they are. I know not everybody wants their armpits to smell like peanut butter, but this kind of stuff, I'm such a gourmand, foodie type person. Peanut butter cookie body wash, a Thin Mint body wash. And while I was at it, I was at HEB and they have Thin Mint seasoning blend that you can sprinkle on your yogurt or your ice cream or whatever you want. Kind of like a s'more. They must have a cookie out now that tastes like s'mores. I thought that sounded good. Then I also got these PB Bites by Skippy. I got this at Target, which is where I got these as well. They just say that they're Girl Scout Adventurefuls. They're cookie center covered with caramel flavored peanut butter coating, dusted in brownie crumbs. Let's try it out, shall we? Smell good. I think these would go good in your yogurt too. Those are good. They taste like, kind of like Cocoa Puffs. Those are good. There's all kinds of Girl Scout cookie flavors happening in here. We're about to make chicken mole with a side of fideo. So we've got our chicken here that we're going to sear in this mole sauce. And then for the fideo, we've got these vermicelli noodles. We need to bake our potato first. Boil it. And then we've got our garlic, our mixture of all our all-purpose seasonings. We've got our freeze-dried onions, and then sesame seeds. So let's get started. First, we boiled the potatoes for the fideo, and then we took a little bit of bacon up and put it into a pan, and we went ahead and browned or seared the chicken. We added some different seasoning to it, and then we just let it go for a little bit, flipped it over, did the same thing. Then we added the mole sauce and just kind of let that simmer for a little bit. Then we added a little bit of the bacon grease to the pan and added the vermicelli noodles as well as the freeze-dried onions. We just wanted to make sure that we toasted the vermicelli real good before adding the liquid, and then we put this tomato sauce in there, stirred it around a little bit. Then we added about 4 cups of water and just stirred that around and let it simmer for a bit. And for the last step, we just added the potatoes. What a delicious, simple weeknight meal. I wanted to show y'all a small haul that I did. If any of y'all have heard of the Vermont Country Store, it's like my favorite thing to order Christmas gifts off of. It's like an online catalog, and they have just everything from foods to PJs and bedding and all that. So it's very nostalgic. They have a lot of things that I grew up with in the 70s, and I'm going to show you a couple of those things. If you've ever heard of Lemon Up, that was one of the big shampoos and conditioners back in the day. It makes your hair smell like lemons, and they got the cute little lemon lids, which I love, as well as lemon lotion, because that's just a smell that's always so clean to me, and I just really love it. How many of you gals that grew up in the 70s remember Love's Baby Soft? They have a lot of perfumes that we grew up with in the 70s. In fact, last year I got some Jungle Gardenia and White Shoulders, perfumes that I grew up on. Sometimes just nostalgic smells just really take me to a happier time. That's why you'll always see me wearing my t-shirts that are from the 70s and 80s, my Pac-Man, my Xanadu. This smells like baby powder. This one, again, smells like lemon, kind of a softer floral lemony smell. I've smelled very many fragrances that are supposed to smell like baby powder, but they don't. And this one really smells like baby powder. So I love this spray. I've got a baby powder lotion. They have a bunch of things you can give as gifts, like nuts and candy and soup mixes. The only food item I really got on this haul was their Vermont cider jelly. And it says it's got 20 apples in each jar. I don't know if that's true or not, but I love apple cider. I love apple butter, apple jelly, apple sauce. So I just thought, I'll give this a try and maybe see if this is something that I can make myself.
Boiled some eggs this morning. Some of them cracked, so they look a little funky looking, but I'm going to smoke these eggs for about 30 minutes, turn them at every 15 or maybe a little bit longer. But they get a really good flavor. Smoke them. Now we're getting some smoke.
Yeah.
So this is a total of 30 minutes at the moment. I think I'll just let them go for an hour.
There you go. We love to smoke different things all the time. I would say that smoked boiled eggs and smoked red wine are my all-time favorite. Corey just continued to flip these eggs every 15 minutes till he felt they were done, and they were a tasty snack that we had on hand all week. We ended the week with a trip to the beach. We went camping, and naturally it rained and was freezing cold, but we made the most of it. Got a little bit of cabin fever, but we would get out from time to time and go walk around and enjoy the beach while we were there. We didn't really film this much this weekend because we just wanted to put the camera away, enjoy family time together. This was a place that we've been before. I will be sure to drop that video in the description box below if you were interested in a full tour of the park. It's normally a happening place in the summertime. They have live bands that play outside. They've got a restaurant on site. They've got all these wonderful places to sit outside with swings and hammocks. It's just a good time. Hey there, all my ladies with brown eyes. You too can have ocean eyes. It just might be Gulf Coast ocean eyes. That water is so nasty. As always, we made the most of our trip. We enjoyed it very much, and although it was cold and rainy and windy, we did catch an amazing sunset on our last night there. I did not use filters. We just did a time lapse and watched the sunset, and it was absolutely stunning and worth every second of this trip. If you made it this far, I thank you so much for sticking around. I wanted to close out with my Bible study message. I believe I left off with James chapter 1 through 4 on my last YouTube video that I did. So I finished chapter 1 and I wanted to go ahead and talk to you about that. James, he urges us to take responsibility for our desire to sin and not to blame God. God may allow suffering in our lives, but He never uses hardships to try to lure us away from Him. He always encourages us to move nearer to Him in difficult times. He lays out simple instructions on how to communicate with God during these trying seasons. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. But when you ask, you must believe and not doubt. That's James chapter 1, verse 5 through 6. We must remember that God is not a genie. We don't get to make 3 wishes and they come true. We are His creation here for His purpose. God is also not Google. He's not required to answer us in less than a tenth of a second. We must remain patient and understanding His timing, not ours. We can look to the people in the Bible like Abraham, Moses, David, Noah, and see that patience and faith go hand in hand. Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love Him. That's in verse 12. James continues by telling believers to not be deceived and reminding us that God will test us but not tempt us. Satan is the one who tempts us. Jesus endured temptation by Satan, but He did not sin. That can be found in Hebrews chapter 4, verse 15. The book of James is similar to Proverbs in that it's a book of wisdom on many topics. Chapter 1 continues with more great tips, including one of my favorite that I am guilty of not doing enough, and that is be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry, because human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires. That's in verse 19 of Proverbs. And then James goes on to say that we are not only to listen to the Word of God, but to act upon it, because the two go hand in hand. That's verse 22 to 25. He closes by reminding us that we are to be the voice of those vulnerable members of society and to not let ourselves be polluted by the world. That's verse 27. He speaks of removing evil from our lives and to accept the word planted in us, which can save us. That's verse 21. It reminds me of the parable of the seed sower, which can be found in Matthew chapter 13, verses 19 to 30. It comes down to this. Our minds are like a garden. We need to plant what we want to grow, dig into the Word. Those seeds of faith are planted in the rich soil and grow close to God as you act out His purpose for you, and remove the weeds that we don't want to take over, such as doubt, temptation, fear, worry, etc. I close with this quote from Romans chapter 10, verse 17. Consequently, faith comes from hearing the message, and the message is heard through the word about Christ. Thank you for sticking around to the end of my video. I hope y'all have a blessed day and a blessed week. I'll see y'all next time. Take care.